Hello everyone, my name is Strange, and I believe that people need to know the truth. Have you often asked me to tell you what we know about Princess Diana and her meetings with aliens, and is it really true at all? Well, let's start our story from the very beginning. Princess Diana, aka Diana Frances Spencer, a woman who undoubtedly had a great influence on both the royal family and the entire British society. Born on the 1st of July 1961 in the family of the 8th Earl Spencer, Diana was the fourth of 5 children in the family. However, her early years are hardly happy. Physical abuse from her father towards her mother, her parents' divorce when she was 7 years old. Her education can also not be called successful. Diana changed schools several times and twice failed exams to obtain a certificate of general education. And in general, she studied at the institute only for a semester. However, she was engaged in self-study and got many, albeit low-paid jobs, such as kindergarten teacher, cleaner, and nanny, which allowed her to gain versatile experience. In 1977, Diana meets Prince Charles for the first time. 3 years later, they meet again, and then Diana begins to attract the prince's attention. And in 1981, Charles proposed to Diana. The wedding took place in the same year. That's the first oddity. How did Diana, a very modest girl, according to the memoirs of Mary Robertson, whose family she worked as a nanny, attract the attention of the prince, the first heir to the throne, being already 12 years younger than him? Was it an accident, Charles's questionable moral qualities, or something else? In addition, the question arises, why did Diana study at the Wildennet Institute, a boarding school for girls in the municipality of Rogemont, Switzerland, for only a semester? Was it her laziness, inability to learn, or did she just find what she was looking for? Even if I wasn't looking for it on purpose. They say she sometimes went somewhere and was absent for several hours, and after returning she looked very spiritual. Some said that they saw Diana meeting strange people. Their skin was an unhealthy gray shade, their limbs were thinner, and they moved as if in jerks, as if someone was trying to control a puppet without knowing how. Sometimes Diana came back with objects wrapped in something, and sometimes people saw condensation trails in the sky shortly before the future princess went somewhere again. But let's return from Diana's apprenticeship to her family life, which is also difficult to call happy. Despite an extremely successful marriage, as well as 2 healthy sons, the relationship between the princess and Charles was far from ideal. The gap of 12 years affected, as well as the difference in character, caused discord and betrayal of both to each other. Even if the problems of the spouses surfaced, some things remained out of sight of the general public. It is believed that it was the unhealthy atmosphere inside the family that caused Diana's suicidal impulses, but there is also an excellent opinion. It is said that the princess, who once stopped her mysterious walks for the duration of her marriage, resumed them when the relationship gave the first serious crack, and, judging by the testimony of eyewitnesses, as if not of her own volition. Also, a few witnesses speak of objects that soared into the sky from the garden of Kensington Palace under the cover of darkness. Is it possible that Diana's self-destructive impulses were not at all because of a crumbling relationship, but because of, say, an unfulfilled task? Some kind of mission that Diana received in exchange for her success from those strange people, if they can be called people, of course. But let's go back to the official history. Diana and Charles divorced in 1996. This was preceded by numerous mutual accusations from each side, and attacks from the public, again on both. In addition to Diana receiving £17 million, £34 million at the current exchange rate, and the separation of custody of the children, the former spouses also signed a confidentiality agreement in which it was forbidden to discuss the details of the divorce and family life. Was this done to prevent the possibility of social pressure, or did Diana and Charles witness something that they simply could not tell about? Perhaps the Princess of Wales did not hide her connection with the alien well enough, which was the real reason for the split in the family and further divorce, and the royal family simply decided not to take the trash out of the hut. However, Diana herself, despite the divorce, remained a member of the royal family as the mother of a possible heir. And even though she lost the title of Her Royal Highness, she retained the title of Princess of Wales. But this concerns her family life. But what about public life? Even before her marriage, Diana participated in the ceremony of taking out the banner in 1981, although at that time she was not a member of the royal family. In the same year, but after the wedding, she attended the opening ceremony of the Parliament with her husband. In 1982, Diana goes to the funeral of Grace, the 10th Princess of Monaco. Charles was against this trip, but the princess didn't care much. Is it possible that the funeral was just an excuse for another contact and receiving new instructions from alien forces? Almost nothing is known about this. In the same year, already in November, Diana was in the Netherlands on state affairs, where she received the Order of the Crown from Beatrix, the Queen of the country. Interestingly, this badge of distinction is awarded to foreigners who especially distinguish themselves in the service of the king, queen in our case, the Netherlands and his house. How Diana was able to serve the Dutch crown in this way remains a question. However, perhaps she did not serve the royal family at all, but their common patrons from distant stars, and the Order of the Crown was just a way to emphasize that Diana fulfilled her mission well. Unfortunately, the crown's affairs will remain that way if we won't know the truth. Further years, up to the divorce, are also filled with trips to various countries for the purpose of recreation or to attend important events. For the most part, Diana paid attention to visiting hospitals and hospitals, projects that were related to healthcare and aimed at the development of women. A great way to raise your popularity in society, as well as collect data. If its alien patrons are, of course, interested in studying humans as a species, then data on our biological structure would be very useful to them. Even after the divorce, Diana continued her trips, the first of which was a visit to Nepal and a local hospital for patients with leprosy. Leprosy, simply put, with whom she met, communicated, and held their hands, continuing to gain points of social popularity. Diana also announced events dedicated to the 25th anniversary of the British Red Cross at the end of 1994. Diana, the Princess of Wales, died in 1997 on August 31 in a car accident in the tunnel near the Alma Bridge. Along with her, her new lover, Dodi Al Fayed, with whom she lived in the south of France for the last months of her life, also died, as well as the driver, Henry Paul. Diana's bodyguard, Trevor Rez-Jones, survived, but due to a serious head injury, he cannot remember the details of the accident. Actually, a very sad outcome of a very good person. Maybe the fault of the accident was an oversight of the mechanics. Maybe it was Henry Paul's mistake, that he did not keep track of the road, or maybe Diana just became dangerous or simply did not need her alien benefactors. The answer to this question is stored only in the head of Trevor, who, according to his own words, forgot all the details of the accident and therefore cannot tell anything. However, whatever happened in the tunnel and whatever purpose Diana pursued, her influence on our society cannot be overestimated. 907 charity visits. That's how much Princess Diana has done in her entire life. It generated interest and attracted public attention to serious diseases, such as leprosy or AIDS. She became the patron of many charitable foundations that help the homeless, children, youth, people with drug addiction, the elderly. After becoming a patron of the British Red Cross, she came to the Royal Hospital almost weekly to support the seriously ill and dying. Her contribution to charity cannot be overestimated. Perhaps Diana did not do it all from a pure heart, perhaps even at someone's behest, and for the benefit of alien forces, but she did it. Her foundations have helped a huge number of people, and will help even more. Her activities have made the problems of people with serious illnesses more obvious. There is no difference whether Diana was a contactor or not. She was an outstanding person, and that's enough. We are aware of many world-famous people who have met, and on our channel we will reveal all the secrets and evidence of their presence. Subscribe to the channel and send me your stories related to aliens by email. You will find contacts in the About the Channel section. Together, we will force the authorities of all countries to disclose all the information they have. After all, people need to know the truth.